Good morning, Wildcats, and welcome to the special Thursday edition of WCTZ News Now. I'm Sergio Carlos, filling in for Evilio Sotolongo, who has unfortunately been feeling under the weather recently. We wish him a speedy recovery. But on today's rundown, riot. Racial tensions explode across the nation as the officers who killed Michael Brown and Eric Garner are not indicted. Greek life. An explosive Rolling Stones article details the horrors of fraternity life at the University of Virginia. And Orion's Belt, NASA's new Orion spacecraft, marks a new era in space exploration. All this and more after a moment of silent thought, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Unrest continues around the country as demonstrators protest the lack of indictments in what they perceive to be racially motivated shootings of African-American men by white police officers. 18-year-old Michael Brown, an African-American Ferguson resident, was shot and killed by a police officer after an alleged altercation ensued between Brown and Officer Darren Wilson. The nation and the media exploded, and all over the country, protesters demanded justice in what they have perceived to be a case where police brutality resulted in the death of an unarmed black man. Further protests followed when a video surfaced of another black man, Eric Garner, being choked to death by a New York police officer, even though reports indicate Garner made no attempt to resist arrest. Grand juries in both cases did not indict either of the police officers, once more instigating protests and oftentimes violent riots that rocked Ferguson, New York, and other major U.S. cities. Several Ferguson businesses were burned down during the civil unrest. Civil rights investigations are pending as the Department of Justice gathers more evidence. The culture of alleged sexual assault prevalent in the fraternities of the University of Virginia was addressed in a recent expose of Rolling Stone magazine. The article featured stories of several women who were sexually assaulted at fraternity parties and then told to suck it up and keep quiet by members of the frat and even their own friends. Jackie, one of the women who came forward to UVA's disciplinary body, was encouraged not to go to police by the dean of students at the school, and the dean instead allegedly sought to cover up any allegations of sexual misconduct. Finally, after severe backlash, the UVA administration decided to suspend any Greek life on campus as more women have come forward. Allegations of sexual misconduct are not new to the Greek scene around colleges. The Obama administration is investigating Title IX violations in universities around the nation. Title IX addresses equality for women in higher education. This morning, NASA plans to launch the new Orion spacecraft. The liftoff for the test flight was initially set for 7:05 a.m. but continues to have delays. During the test flight, Orion will go to an altitude 15 times higher than the International Space Station and will orbit the Earth twice. The flight will be approximately 4.5 hours long and will splash down in the Pacific Ocean about 600 miles off the coast of Baja California. Orion is the beginning of new missions to the Moon and Mars. Now that's all we have for news today, so we go to Connor for some important school announcements.
Thanks, Evie. The West Shore academic team took first place in the district this week at the last regular season match. The top 6 teams from all the schools in the county will continue on to the state-level competition as part of the All-Star Brevard team in April. The top 6 teams will also compete next week in the district championship match at the school board in Viera at 6:30, Monday, December 8th. There will be a blood drive on Monday, December 15th from 9:15 to 2:15. Anyone 16 and over can donate blood. However, if you're 16, you'll need a parent waiver. Please see Mrs. Farrington in room 5101 for the waiver. For everyone 17 and up, please make sure you bring your ID with you. Now for the lunch, followed by the weather.
Thank you, Connor, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of WCTZ News. This has been Sergio Carlos filling in for Avilio Sedolongo, saying have a great day, Wildcats.